As a representative of the farmers' constituencies, one of our primary functions is towards bettering the livelihoods of our farmers or the producers. And we ensure this through a concerted program of lobbying and advocacy and through interventions from our producer organizations. But whether we're looking at poverty alleviation or we're looking at malnutrition, you will invariably find that the biggest people who are impacted with this are the rural poor and the farmers. And therefore, agriculture is one of the most affected sectors and at the same time probably provides the biggest solution. And for better nutrition and health, the point of approach should be and should begin at the level of farm productivity and profitability. And we know all the ingredients that are required for this: technology transfer, training and extension, functioning agricultural markets, better economies of scale, good management of soils and water. But the other aspect is to increase the competitiveness of producers, to help them better integrate into the agricultural markets. The barriers to the entry are very, very high and often very dysfunctional markets where the producer's place is often weak and disjointed. And again, this doesn't go without the constraints of food and safety standards, water management, plant and animal disease control, traceability and labeling. So the greatest challenge has been how to get producers to become part of the value chain and have an equal seat at the table to protect their interests. But as any prudent manager manages, the smallholder producer has to think about himself at the end of the day and his family and have abandoned the production of food and food crops to more rewarding cash crops such as cotton, soybeans, groundnuts, paprika, and I dare say, not for this meeting, tobacco. But examples have shown that despite this increase in wealth, until disposable incomes reach a certain threshold, limited financial security does not translate into nutrition and good health. There is still inadequate incomes, and the priority is still basic necessities and survival, and these basic necessities are not affordable. And then you have the mix of lack of government provisions, lack of water, sanitation, and health. What is good to note is many of these crop productions are now being done through contract growing, and many of these schemes now incorporate an element of food production in their contracts. But again, this is primarily being done more for food availability and household food security rather than nutrition. The international agenda, on the other hand, has been largely driven by two major aspects. One is agriculture is a major catalyst for alleviating poverty. And the other, riding on the back of the food price crisis, that emphasizes on the availability of food. And this dynamic has also given rise to a new matrix, and this matrix is the food, energy, and climate change. And this, in turn, has driven the agenda of policymakers and bureaucrats. One of the most negative effects of all this has been the introduction of input supply subsidies without any other consideration. And I emphasize, without any other consideration. This has marginalized traditional crop production with good nutritional values such as millet, sorghum, beans, groundnuts, and vegetables, in particular, impacting in the decline of livestock production. Dairy offers the quickest link to nutrition and health, but at the same time faces the enormous challenge associated with the cost of maintaining healthy animals and a hygienic environment. Governments also need to look at funding and institutional constraints that look after animal disease control. Farmers and producer organizations are reacting to this policy environment while ensuring that the farmers' profitability are maintained while addressing newer issues of climate, biodiversity, and energy. There has to be a paradigm shift at an international level to incorporate food security with nutrition and health. Farmers and producer organizations can help in this effort, provided there is an understanding and agreement that should there be any adjustment costs, they should be equally borne by society and not the producers themselves. And I end by saying, many good doctors always prescribe pills to be taken on a full stomach. As farmers, it can be our business to ensure that the stomach is value-packed with good quality food. I thank you all.